Okay, now this is what I don't get. We all know that these white folks are crashing out over this Charlie guy. We all know that the suspect, the shooter, was a white guy. We know that it happened in Utah at a rally with over 3,000 white people. So why are the HBCUs, the historical black colleges, universities, getting bomb threats? Why did they have to close 8 of their colleges down for the whole week? How did that shooting have anything to do with black people? Why do you white tees, or why are white tees finding us to be the problem? This was a white tee on white tee crime. There were no black people even in the area. Utah? Negative. So please make me understand why our universities are being threatened and they have to close down for the whole week. That issue is between y'all. We don't have nothing to do with that. 90% of us didn't even know who that man was. So what is the problem? What is the deal?
Racism. Racism is the number one reason right now that we are in a government shutdown. It has absolutely nothing to do with those illegal aliens that the Republicans are talking about. This has everything with that black man that got up there and walked with swag and wore a tan suit. Why? Because the Affordable Health Care Act that they like to coin Obamacare when they wanted it to make it sound derogatory versus the fact that it put millions of Americans on health insurance that didn't have health insurance, allowed pre-existing conditions to now make insurance companies have to insure people, allowed children to stay on their parents' policies until they were 26, that made your regular wellness checks free. That Affordable Health Care Act, the legacy of Obama, that is why Republicans are holding the line and willing to gut the Affordable Care Act, because Trump spent 4 years in office trying to get rid of it the first time and couldn't. And he wants to undo the legacy of the greatest man that he will never be. He still has Obama-itis. It's not just about giving to the rich. He's still jealous that he's not as good as that black man. As always, I am sending peace, love, good vibes. Have a great night.
I'm wondering, when are white people going to start listening to the black community? When are we going to admit that they were right about Trump? They were right during the civil rights era. They were right about abolition. And now we know, now we can see they've been right about Trump all along. They got our attention during the George Floyd protests, but we didn't listen. We were just like fair weather fans. But if we could ever get behind this community, if we could ever draw from their wisdom and their knowledge of what America really is at the cellular level, because they've seen this all along, and there is so much we could learn if we would just humble ourselves and move out of the spotlight just for a moment and let them speak.
ICE is now going after and detaining all black people in Chicago, including black Americans. regardless of your citizenship status and regardless if you are native to this country.
Lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no. I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher said she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all.
It appears that ICE agents have been targeting black neighborhoods and specifically apartment complexes where they know majority of the population of those buildings are black Americans who are native to America, ergo American citizens. This was a threat that was told to us by Kamala Harris and many people that he would send troops after citizens and that he definitely would do his darndest to go after Latinos first, Asians second, and then us. Stay vigilant, stay safe, because who knows what's going to happen. The Governor Pritzker is fighting against Trump now, pushing back on Trump sending in the army and the military, which he's still planning to do. But ICE agents have ramped up their efforts in Chicago over the last couple of days because of this, including now black people.
This message is for black folk. For months on end, I've seen us get on social media, laugh and mock the immigrant community. And I make video after video in solidarity with other marginalized communities, understanding the fight that we have standing together. And the very real fact that every harm that comes to any community, we get it the worst. People making jokes about undocumented folks getting picked up by ICE. And I said in video after video after video, that what do you think they are going to do to us? And folks were in the comments, but we're citizens. But this is what they voted for. Fuck around and find out. And I said that because of the president that we all have, we all end up stuck with the find out stage. And here we are in DC on August 15, 2025. And you know what citizenship has gotten people in DC? Unlawfully harassed, unlawfully stopped, unlawfully searched, maced, chased, and over-policed, as well as detained and jailed for simply standing around their community. And for all those goofies saying, oh, they're trying to reduce crime, DC has the technology that can zoom in so close to your license plate if you speed that you don't think they don't know who might be busting out a car window. And as I've said in many videos to my people, you can continue to claim that you are sitting it out, but they're going door to door, and it's just a matter of time before that door knock is yours or someone that you know. And if you're not willing to fight for your own life, who do you think is going to do it?
Fact or fiction? Let's start. A 14-year-old has a fully developed brain. Yes, that's fiction. Easy. Middle schoolers are still learning and growing. Science tells us the brain isn't fully developed until our mid to late 20s, which means children do not have the same judgment, impulse control, or decision-making capacity as adults. Yet just this week, Republicans passed legislation that would prosecute children as adults and send them to adult prisons. Children in adult prisons. Next question, Mr. Jackson, fact or fiction? The criminal legal system incarcerates black youth at disproportionately higher rates than white youth. Correct. That's fact. Nationally, black kids are 6 times as likely as white kids to be incarcerated. In D.C., the focus of today's hearing, the disparities are even more stark. Despite making up only 51% of the youth population, black children in D.C. are 98% of youth confinement. For too long, black youth have been disproportionately criminalized, policed, and locked up for normal adolescent behavior rather than receiving the resources and support that are proven to help them grow and reach their full potential. Last one, Mr. Jackson, fact or fiction? Trauma-informed strategies like community violence intervention help to disrupt cycles of violence. Correct. That's a fact. Investing in prevention, mental health, and community-based support keeps people safe. These are real, sustainable solutions. If Republicans were actually serious about reducing crime, they would follow that example, but they are so unserious. Instead of going after predators and pedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein, they are going after children, passing policies to ship middle schoolers to adult prisons. That is child abuse. And it is consistent with their pattern of abuse and neglect when it comes to all our children. They let children go hungry by cutting SNAP. They make children sicker by cutting Medicaid and taking away vaccines. They strip environmental protections, leaving more kids gasping for air during asthma attacks. They rip families apart with cruel immigration policies as children watch their parents taken away from classroom windows, and they ignore the strange fruit of young black men like Trey Reed hanging from the trees of Mississippi. Time and again, Republicans prove they are unserious about the care, the health, and the future of all our children. They are invested only in fear and control, and that's what they're doing here today. Republicans are certainly not keeping us safe. Free DC.
So I'm going to say something. White men who vote for Trump or support Trump to this day solely support him because they are racist, homophobic, and emotionally unintelligent. Black men who support Trump to this day hate themselves and want to separate themselves from blackness in every way possible and are also homophobic and emotionally unintelligent. Hispanic men who support Trump, Hispanic brown community, okay, the ones who claim to be brown, even though we know that's not a race, but Hispanic, Latinos for Trump, they support Trump because they are homophobic, anti-black, they hate themselves, but they think they have access or proximity to whiteness because they're not black, for the ones who are not black presenting. So they think that by supporting a man like Trump, it's a tactic of survival because they can claim that they're like one of you. I'm like you, white man. I know black. Look, we have same enemy. And they are also homophobic and unintelligent emotionally. All of these men usually have narcissistic traits and oftentimes lack empathy for anyone other than themselves. Can this be changed? Can these men be freed from supporting Trump? Absolutely. We're seeing it happen before our very eyes. But just because they stop supporting Trump suddenly does not mean that they've completely erased or dealt with their anti-blackness, racism, and homophobia and misogyny. That takes a lot of work, time, and effort. But the first step is admitting that you're wrong. And it's okay to be wrong.
During slavery times, who were the ones who worked the fields? And if immigrants are taking those jobs, and now the immigrants aren't here to do those jobs, and now you can't get a higher education, who does he expect to go work the fields? So should you also be worried and stand up for everything that's happening? Should the black and brown join forces?
First of all, ma'am, we have always been the target. We are the first target. And we never remove ourselves from being targeted. See, we used to being targeted. You understand? See, we couldn't play footsies with white supremacy. See, we couldn't put white on our census. We are FBAs, period. That's number one. Number two, about jobs. Black people do any job. Trust me, I know. But the difference is black people are going to be paid the right salary. Black people are not going to go to no field and pick no fruit and don't get paid for it. That's backbreaking work. The Latino community in America would be just fine if every last one of them was deported. You're talking about the ones who are illegal. Because not everybody in the Hispanic community are illegal. That's just bottom line, right? But you're saying about us joining together. Ma'am, we tried. We tried for years, even to the point that we were looking stupid, saying black and brown. That's how much we wanted a unification with black and brown as a collective of people. We've said black and brown need to join together because if we together, we can literally run this country. Because between the black community and the Hispanic community, man, we can really do a lot of headway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we deal with discrimination, you know, and all that, so we can relate. But no, ma'am, you need to do the research into LULAC and how they didn't even want to be classified as Mexican. They want to be classified as white. That's a big problem in your community, ma'am. Also, LULAC said about unifying with black people, when they had a chance to unify with black people, they said that they did not. That Felix Tiarina guy from LULAC, he said he did not want to unify with black people. Let black people fight their own problems, fight their own issues. I don't want nothing to do with them. I ain't trying to join with them. This is what people that lead your community, and LULAC is still in existence today.
Am I the only one that didn't know that apparently Latinos were like begging black people for support and help now that Donald Trump is trying to deport? I did not know this. I just learned in the comment section, man, in one of my videos, man. They said, yo, they was just asking us for help. Now they're blaming us for having the young men in their community. Like, what's going on over here? I was asking for help, man. So y'all know how to go down that rabbit hole. And apparently there's a whole bunch of Latinos, man, talking about black people. We need to unite. We need to come together. Trump is trying to get us out of here. It's us. Who the fuck is us? We legal. We ain't going nowhere. the worst thing we're gonna hear is somebody say go back to Africa, and we haven't heard that since the 90s. Listen, I can make fun of the situation, right? Because I don't got papers, right? The broski's an undocumented immigrant, but I've been dodging ICE since 1998 when we used to call it La Migra. And I'm out here in New York City, so I'm protected. Like the other day, they were closing in on me, right? They was about to arrest me, man. And 5 batshit crazy liberals, man, stopped walking their dogs and drinking their Starbucks, man. And they jumped at the ICE agent and said, the broski, run, broski, run. And man, I took off running, bro. I've been running ever since, bro. They did not catch me, man. So I could talk confidently out here in New York City because I know these liberals ain't gonna allow these ICE agents to arrest me. I'm like, that's our fucking immigrant. He ain't going nowhere. But he shot 2 cops. We don't give a fuck, man. Those were his cops to shoot.
Trump does not share our experience in any way, shape, or form as it relates to how black people encounter the criminal justice system. When I was accused and indicted and I had to surrender myself to the government, a day I will never forget, I got handcuffed, not only by my wrists, but then by a chain running down to my waist. Donald Trump didn't have a handcuff on him. Let's get that correct. And hadn't had one in any of the surrendering that he's had to do around any of these cases. Who isn't just accused, but was found responsible, liable, $500+ million he got to pay. My only point here is do not get it twisted. This is never about a system. It's always about Donald Trump. This is not about how people are treated in the criminal justice system. This is about how Donald Trump is being treated. He can't even dream of how to relate to a criminal justice system that treats him the way it treats us.